Hey, this is Buzz with a closet classic. I dug this out of my storage closet. It's a Realistic DX-200 Shortwave Receiver. I'm going to give you a look at it next on AirWaves. Hey, this is Buzz back with you again, episode number 23. And as I stated, I was looking through the storage closet and spotted this old classic. Thought I'd drag it out and let you take a look at it. Thought some of you might appreciate some of the older technology. This was built sometime back in the 1980s. I couldn't find an exact date. And I've owned it for a long time, but I've really had little use of it. Just picked it up because I liked the looks of it, and I didn't have a shortwave receiver at the time. Got a good deal on it. I was just looking on eBay, and there are still some of these out there for sale. As a matter of fact, one sold on March 26th for $110, so not bad. I believe these retailed for $199 back when they were new. Like I say, this radio is in excellent condition. It's had very little use. There's really no wear marks on it. There's one small item I'll show you here a little bit later on that doesn't affect the operation of it, but just for appearance sake. I even have the original owner's manual, and it's a pretty good manual because not only does it tell you how to use the radio, but it has a lot of other useful information in it. By the way, you'll see here on the back it has screw terminals. So I've got this radio hooked up to my Jetstream 80 meter dipole antenna, and what I did was I just used alligator clips, and I ran alligator clips from the coax cable into the back of the radio, and seems to be working fine. It's got lots of useful information telling you how you should set up your antenna, grounding, of course operation. It also has the frequencies for the different bands, tells you how to calibrate the radio, even gives you some formulas in here for frequency conversion, time conversion. It has a world map there, has the Morse code and the 10 code in there. International Morse code. It has a country log here. It tells you shortwave stations that are run by governments around the world. A lot of these are probably not in existence anymore. And then a schematic diagram there if you want to attempt any repairs. I also noticed online that there's still service manuals available for this radio. But anyway, give you kind of a rundown on this. It's the DX-200, made by Realistic, which of course was a Radio Shack brand. And to give you some of the main features, it has frequency coverage from 150 to 400 kilohertz, has most of the long wave band, and also 520 kilohertz to 30 megahertz. So it also has the AM broadcast or medium wave band. It has super heterodyne circuitry, large, easy to read frequency display dials for both the main tuning and band spread. This is main tuning, this is band spread. Variable BFO, that's the beat frequency oscillator pitch for reception of CW and single sideband signals. It has an antenna trimmer which matches your antenna to the frequency band you're listening to, and that's over here, and that it does have an effect. I've got it turned down. I had it. Let me turn this up here. I believe this is Radio Cuba that we're listening to here. And when I adjust the antenna trim on the S meter here, you can see it does make a difference. So, but you can use just a random length long wire with this radio, which is basically what the antenna trim control there is for. Also has a 5-element ceramic filter for outstanding selectivity, freedom from adjacent channel interferences. Dual MOSFETs in the critical RF and mixer stages eliminate cross-modulation and RF distortion. It's all solid-state circuitry, provides maximum efficiency with minimum noise. Has integrated circuit audio amplifier for high intelligibility, 500 kilohertz marker for calibration of the main tuning and band spread. And I've tried that, and it gives you detailed step-by-step instructions on how to do that. And I'm going to have to look at that again and try to tackle that at some point. Has a standby mode switch and a rear panel mute contact for use with two-way ham installation. So if you wanted to use this, say, as a receiver, you're maybe using CW sending out code, and you could use this for your receiver. You can actually use a relay to mute the speaker on it when you're transmitting. And it has an external speaker jack. Okay, so that's the main features of the radio. To kind of give you a look here on the dial, this is the band selector here, which is. And while I'm here, I'll show you that one little problem it has. You'll notice this is on the main tuning. As you switch bands, this little, I'm not sure if that's an LED or if it's just a small, like, wheat bulb. But when you switch bands, that red light follows to let you know which band you're on. But when you get on this band, you see if I turn the switch, I can get it to stay on if I jiggle it. But otherwise, sometimes it just, it won't come on unless you jiggle a little bit. And that's really the only problem I have found with the radio, which is remarkable for its age. Over here, this is your BFO switch for CW and single sideband. And then you have your automatic gain control, fast and slow. And then, I told you before, this is your main tuning and your band spread, fine tuning. Then you got RF gain over here, that's receive, of course, only. And then you have your volume control. And let's see if I can get that back. And I'm not going to tune around the dial because, I mean, it picks up fairly well. When you get spoiled like I am after getting the Zygu G90 with the waterfall dial on it, it is just so much easier to tune across, and this really is just cumbersome to me now to tune across. But there are people that enjoy doing that, and more power to you. This is the mode switch where you can go to single sideband CW. This is a standby mode I was telling you about. Then you've got AM, and then you've got AM with noise limiting. And this over here is your calibration switch. Here's your headphone jack here, and I believe that's a 1/4 inch. I believe there's an 1/8 inch mini jack on the back. Not positive, but I believe that's the case. And of course, this is your S meter up here, and if you can see that on camera, that signal there is pretty much full scale. So it's picking it up well. It's cool to drag these out every once in a while and play with them and remember how it used to be. And of course, like I say, some people still enjoy using radios like this. Just want to give you a look at it. I guess it'll probably go back up on the shelf again after a couple days. But it's the Realistic DX-200 Shortwave Receiver, 1980s vintage. And I've got it here sitting on my test bench in the radio room. This is Buzz. Been episode number 23. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you'll subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure to like and share the video, and I'll see you down the dial.